Hello, my fiery friends. Welcome to another awesome and fiery fun stream. I'm your host, the Infernoman here, and hopefully having a wonderful evening wherever you are at. So, with the holidays now just behind us, but at the same time, New Year's Eve is around the corner, we got to throw in again one more fun, fiery fun stream. Well, actually, maybe we could try to squeeze in maybe one more before the actual countdown in about a couple days. But what are we going to be playing today? Well, I'm glad you asked. So without further ado, let's just jump into right now and show exactly what we're going to be playing for today. All right, see some of you already trying to pour in right here. Oh, hello. What is it, Elliot Hawkins? Hello, my fire friend. Good evening. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Okay, so as you can kind of see right now that Santa has a chance to kind of relax and take a little bit of time to just, enjoy the post-Christmas season, now what exactly are going to be the elves going to be up to now? Well, that's what we're going to be doing today. So without further ado, join me today in the Brawl format for a mono green deck that is built around the Elven Elite. So with that, we're going to be playing, of course, one of the most broken elves you actually could play here. And that's pretty much going to be the focus of today. It's going to be a budget elf deck. Well, I would say sort of budget, mostly because literally I would say like 70% of the budget is in our actual commander, but we'll talk about that in a second. In any case, for those of you that are joining us right now and how we're going to be doing this, let's talk about the stats of the deck first before we dive right into it. So the Elven Elite here, it's going to be a mono green deck with an average mana curve about 2.5. We're going to be rocking a 41 creatures in the deck, with 39 of them being elves themselves. We'll be also looking at 2 instants, 8 sorceries, 4 artifacts, 7 enchantments, and 37 lands. So as I mentioned before, what the elves are going to be doing now that Santa is away, we're going to be, of course, just dominating and hopefully blowing away our opponent with the most budget version of elves, led by also one of the most broken cards they actually added into Arena here. And that's going to be Rofellos, Llanowar Emissary. For those that don't know how stupidly ridiculous this card is, it literally just does one simple thing. But that one simple thing is absolutely silly. Rofellos, Llanowar Emissary, 2 forests, 2/1 legendary creature, elf druid. You add 1 forest. Well, actually, you add 1 green for each forest you control. So literally on turn 2, when you can bring this down, you can ideally be tapping for an extra 2 by turn 3, and you already could have as much as 5 mana on turn 3. That gets ridiculously fast with this card. So literally, we just want to ramp, put out as many elves as possible, and just overwhelm our opponent by just elf balling them out of to oblivion, basically. So that's the whole game plan, everybody. In order to do that, of course, because Rofellos, and again, this deck is actually ultra budget in Arena. We're talking like only 6 rares, so that's pretty good actually. It's just, however, in paper, it's where it's going to get stupid expensive. Because again, Rofellos, wait, let me check one second here. How much is this card? Oh, geez, this card is like what, like $50 for a single copy? No, thank you, by the way. So obviously, we're going to be calling this budget Arena. So just FYI. In any case, rambling aside, let's now cover the entire deck itself, and let's go over every single card, and then we'll play as many matches as we can in the best of 1. And of course, once we get to the halfway point of the stream, we're going to then try to play this at an upgraded version to see how stupidly crazy elves can get when you really don't want to hold back. So starting in the 1-drop slot, we're going to start off with our ramp package here, because elves want to ramp. We want to get out as many forests as we can. So we're going to use cards like Bushwhack here to get out basic lands, or you can use this as a fight spell to then pick off certain creatures midway through the game. Satantul, Star World here, Elf Druid Soldier. You could tap an untapped artifact or a creature we control to add 1 mana of any color. So again, more ramping for the deck. We'll obviously throw in the mainstays, of course, the who's who of the best type of mana dorks here, like Elvish Mystic, tapping for 1 green. Glade Cover Scout here. This can be a good target for us to build up some counters on it and everything, because it just has hexproof, but we want that to make sure we have something that just cannot be stopped. Go forth here. Instant speed, digging out a basic land and putting it into our hand, or giving one of our creatures a +2/+2 pump until end of turn. Jaspiris Sentinel here, you tap down either any creature to then again fix for more mana. Llanowar Elves, a mainstay of course, just like Elvish Mystic, just tapping it for 1 green source. Llanowar Stalker, anytime another creature we control enters, it'll get +1/+0 pump until end of turn. Narham Renegade here, as long as you can trigger Revolt, it enters with a +1/+1 counter on it, so it makes it a 2/3, which is really good for blocking purposes, and also has a Death Touch, which also makes it a great blocker. Thirsting Roots here, again, we want to dig out our basic forests, because we want to make sure we can put those into our hand to get more out of Rofellos, or you can use this to proliferate once we get +1/+1 counters on our strategy. Wirewoat Symbiote here, so this is actually part of a really silly 2-card combo here. For those that don't know how this card is going to work, this is one of the few non-elves in the deck. It's an insect that says, at instant speed, you can bounce back an elf we control to its owner's hand, and you untap target creature. You can only do this once each turn. So, ideally, you want to be able to bounce back something here to then untap a card that we'll talk about in just a moment here. But before we get to that, I'll just circle back to that in a second here. We also have Zephyr Boots, so it gives one of our elves flying. So again, we want to make sure we can do some combat damage, help some draw some cards, discard some cards, equip it for 2, just to make sure we can just churn through our deck. In the 2-drop slot, we have Attended Socialite here. Does similar to the Llanowar Stalker here. It has Alliance. Anytime a creature enters, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Druid of the Cowl here is one of our more expensive mana dorks, but again, works great for the deck. We want to ramp. Dwynen's Elite, great for us because it puts 2 bodies out there for 2 mana. We also have Elvish Visionary here. Simple little card here. Just enters and helps us draw a card. Elvish Warmaster, one of our few rares for the deck, but an incredibly powerful one that is absolutely necessary for the game plan here. Anytime an elf we control enters, you get to create an Elf Warrior creature token. You can only do this, however, once each turn, and for 7 mana, elves you control will get an extra +2/+2 and Death Touch until end of turn. So this Warmaster will help us again pump up our whole team once we start getting our game plan going. We want more ramp in the deck and more ways to stabilize, so Gallic Readers is one of our few other rares in the deck here. Anytime another creature we control enters, we can either pick to put a +1/+1 counter on the creature, we can create a tapped treasure token, or we can gain 2 life. Desiree, hello my fire friend. Good evening. How are you doing today? Hopefully having a wonderful night wherever you're at. Question, if you had one message to the world, what would it be? Good question on that one. I guess my only thing I would say to the world is life is what you make of it. That's usually what I would say for those out there. Also, what's the other thing I kind of say? I mean, I always say also, life is hard, but it's not impossible. That's mostly what I would say to everybody here. No matter what you would say or do in the life out there, just again, push through. It may sometimes feel like life may not be in your favor, but never give up, everybody. That's mostly what I would say. Good question on that, though. I guess that kind of means that I kind of accidentally went over by more than one message. But, you know, pick whatever you want. Anyways, what was I at here? Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to finish this deck tech. All right, so... okay, let's get back into this. So we have Glimpse the Core here, helping us dig out another basic force, putting it onto the battlefield, or you can just bring back a cave card. We don't really care about cave cards. All we just want to simply do is just ramp out like crazy. We have Greenbelt Guardian here, gives one of our creatures trample until end of turn, so we start putting counters on stuff. This can help us again pump up a creature. Hunter's Talent here is spot removal for level 1, level 2 when we start attacking, giving a creature trample and +1/+0 until end of turn, and level 3 for 4 mana at the beginning of our end step. If we control a creature with power 4 or greater, just draw a card. So it slowly can help us get more value as the game progresses. Since we are in mono green, we don't really have too many ways of spot removal, so this is kind of like our pseudo way of doing it. Kenrith's Transformation can then be put onto another creature, making it lose all abilities and making it a green elf creature token. Just a green elk with a base power and toughness of 3/3. Ordeal of Nihilea here, so one of our few auras that actually does good things for us. Gets +1/+1 counters on a creature when it attacks. If it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters, you sacrifice the aura and put out 2 basic lands for additional ramping. Great for us for the deck. Paradise Druid, another one of our expensive mana dorks here, but again, fixes us for just what we need. Pollen Bright Druid here, when this enters, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, or we can just proliferate once we get enough counters on other things. Priest of Titania here is again incredibly strong and very good for our deck here. Add 1 green for each elf on the battlefield. So this, along with Rofellos, will give us pretty much all the mana we're going to need for the entire game plan here. Also, not to mention, like, come on, the amazing art, by the way. Rebecca Gave, wow, words are hard right now. Rebecca Gay, amazing art, by the way. Classic card. Love it, by the way. Love it. But going back to the card right quick, this card, along with Wirewood Symbiote, is our 2 mana combo that we're going to need to then just start tapping for all the mana we're going to need. So the reason for being that is, say like you have enough elves out, you tap down your Priest of Titania, and then just bounce back another elf at instant speed, which of course with Wirewood Symbiote here means that you can untap another creature, which should be Priest of Titania, and you tap it again for more mana. So basically, I mean, it's not pseudo infinite, but with enough elves out there, you basically will have everything you're going to need to get your game plan going. So just an FYI, that's the combo for us. Sky Reaping here is one of our sorceries in the deck, dealing damage equal to flying, equal to your Devotion to Green, to each creature with flying. So this again can take out flyers once the game plan goes off. Woodland Champion here. Anytime another token we control enters, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature. So this can be one of our few creatures that'll help us go big as the game goes on. Ren's Run Vanquisher here. So 3/3, 2 mana. Pretty good rate, by the way. However, you have to reveal another elf card or pay 3 mana to get a Death Touch 3/3 creature. Pretty good again for both offense and defense. Another one of our few lords in the deck that also was a rare, Elvish Clancaller, giving all of our elves +1/+1. Its secondary ability doesn't really work for our deck, but again, it just has it here just for pumping abilities. Lion Umbra here for another one of our auras for the deck, gives one of our creatures +3/+3 and vigilance and reach until end of turn. With the armor on it, if we would be destroyed, you actually remove the damage and destroy the aura. So kind of like a pseudo protection spell for whatever we need. Nissa's Triumph here allows us to dig out 2 basic forests. If we control a Nissa Planeswalker, you search up to 3 lands in general. We actually don't have a Nissa card with us, but again, provides us for what we need to dig out all of our basics. Swiftfoot Boots here, mostly you want to put this on Rofellos to ensure that, again, he has hexproof to make sure he can't get moved off to the battlefield. In the 3-drop slot here, we have now Blanchwood Armor here, another one of our great ways we can pump up our game plan here, giving every one of our creatures +1/+1 for each forest we control, so it goes hand in hand with our game plan. Bounteous Skemfar here, digging 6 cards deep. You can pull out a land, put it onto the battlefield, digging out then an elf card and putting it into our hand. So again, for just pulling out more of our stuff. Chance Met Elves here, 3-mana Elf Warrior. Whenever we scry, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. However, this only triggers only once each turn. We don't have that much scrying in the deck, but again, for what we do have, this can help us again get some more counters on stuff. Deathbloom Gardener here, one of our more expensive mana dorks, but it has Death Touch, so that's the main reason we want it, so that helps us otherwise fix. Elvish Rejuvenator, digging us 3 cards deep when it enters the battlefield, and then putting a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Evolution Sage here, anytime a land we control enters, we can proliferate, so this will help us with +1/+1 counter synergies. Hydra's Growth, and this aura enters, put a +1/+1 counter on an enchanted creature, and at the beginning of our upkeep, we can just keep doubling it up, so this can help us go big with one of our elves as the game progresses, especially if our opponent does not have an answer. Impervious Perfect here, one of the few lords that actually isn't a rare, so it's perfect for our deck, giving all of our elves +1/+1, and also as the game progresses, you can then tap it with 1 green mana to make Elf Warrior creature tokens and helping us go wide. Llanowar Visionary here, when it enters, draw a card, and also you can tap it for mana. Presence of Gond here, so we can use this to then put onto a creature, and then allow that creature to start tapping to make more Elf Warrior creature tokens to go wide. Reclamation Sage here, when this enters, it's artifact or enchantment hate for our deck, which is perfect. Spring Bloom Druid, when this enters, sacrifice a land and dig out 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield to keep ramping. Tireless Provisioner, one of my favorite elves here because this does so much for us for so little investment. Anytime a land we control enters, make a food token to stabilize or make treasure tokens to ramp. Elvish Archdruid here, another classic stable that also got reprinted in Foundation, so it's really cheap for the deck and good for us. So one of our rares gives all of our elves +1/+1, and you can tap it for each elf you control to get more green mana. Tyvar the Pummeler here, another one of our great ways we can start pumping up our whole team. Also, it has its own built-in protection, which is nice. You just simply tap another creature to give Tyvar indestructible until end of turn. Llanowar Trivir, amazing for our deck. It's triple ramp for us. Triple green once you can tap this down. 3 mana, of course, to bring it out, but it's beautiful for us. We'll then throw in some extra mana rocks here. So we have Heraldic Banner and Patchwork Banner. We are mostly an elf deck, so these are perfect for us. This is, of course, going to give all of our green creatures +1/+0. And Patchwork Banner, we just name elves. And this can also give all of our elves an extra +1/+1 pump. In the 4-drop slot, we'll have Elven Ambush here, so another way to help us go wide with us. Instant Speed, giving us 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens for each elf we control. Ferocious Werefox here, it's a 4/3 trampler, or just create a monster roll token and attach it to a creature to give it, again, some extra pump, and also trample on top of that. Ivy Lane Denizen, anytime another green creature we control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control. Dwenian Guiltleaf Dayan here, so 4 mana for another reach legendary creature, Elf Warrior, a 3/4 that gives all of our elves +1/+1, and anytime anytime Dwenian attacks, we gain 1 life for each attacking elf, so this can be great for stabilization as the game progresses. In the 4-drop, we have some little slow bits of card draw here. Draw 3 cards with Harmonize here for 4 mana. I mean, again, that's not a very good rate, but in green, we want to take whatever we can get. Liz Alana Huntmaster here. I hope this actually gets a reprint in Lorwyn, but if it doesn't, it's still good for our deck overall. Anytime we cast an elf spell, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. Preem Outrider here has Trample, has Fabricate 1, so when this enters, you can either put a +1/+1 counter on the elf or create a servo token. Wildheart Invoker here does look a little expensive with this ability, but again, pretty good for our budget deck here. For 8 mana, which is expensive, but we have plenty of ways of making a ton of mana, you can give 1 creature +5/+5 and trample until end of turn. Elf Sworn Giant here, another one of our few non-elves in the deck, but again, it helps us ramp because we can then start putting out lands and create more Elf Warrior creature tokens to help us go wide. Wait, why did I say ramp? I didn't mean ramp. I meant go wide. Words are hard, by the way. I probably should slow myself down just a little bit. But otherwise, moving on, we also have Clothes Design, one of our finishers for the deck. It's a sorcery for 6 mana that gives all of our creatures +X until end of turn, where X is your devotion to green. We have a lot of elves out here. We have tons of green pips, so this should easily give us enough pump to close out the game. And finally here in the 6 drop, Disciple of Freyalise. So 6 mana, 3/3 Elf Druid. When it enters, you sacrifice a creature and then gain X life and draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. If you need to in a pinch, it can just simply be a land. Speaking of lands, we want to make sure we take advantage of Rofellos' ability, so we need all forests. That means we're rocking 36 forests. It is a budget deck, so it works great for us. And Gingerbread Cabin here. This is actually also a forest too, which is nice. And as long as we have 3 or more, we get a free food token for us to help us just gain some extra life. And that is the whole deck for you, everybody. Whew. Okay, so as always, thanks again for hanging in there, everybody. Sorry it takes so long on that. But now we can get to the fun part. Let's take this into the Brawl format, and let's see how well the deck can do. So we'll talk about the upgraded version in a little bit. But first, for now, let's go ahead. Let's get started here. Okay. All right. Feeling pretty good, everybody. Let's get this going. We are locking in now.
It's time to
Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. Maybe I did a little preemptive there, but okay. We're set to go here as soon as our opponent has a way. All right. Here we go. All right. First game of the night, everybody. Can we get our early game wins here? Let's see if we can do that. All right, we're playing against a person using Toph, so we'll see. We actually did do a budget Toph deck a little while ago, so if you haven't seen that already, check out the replay on YouTube. It's up now. All right, so let's see here. So it's actually a pretty good curve here. So we can get Elvish Mystic, turn 2, Impervious Perfect, or Tyler's Provisioner, and Dwinian Guiltleaf Dan here could give us more pump. Not too bad. Not too bad. At any point, though, if we need more mana, that's when Rofellos will come into play. So one of the good things about an elf deck is you never run out of mana. Usually, I would say. Okay, so let's see. I don't know if our opponent's going to have that much removal, because they're probably just focusing on just getting the metal bending shenanigans going. Ooh, they got Zurin Orb already. Okay. I do know that combo, though, because I've used that myself quite a few times. All right. Forest, which is good. Elvish Mystic. All right, let's get our ramp on. Okay, opponents. Let's see. As long as they don't have removal, we should be fine. All right, they got Bossing Say already. I would assume our opponent is going to... Oh, okay, alchemy cards. Boo, by the way. Say no alchemy cards, everybody. I know it's tempting to use alchemy cards, and if you want to use them, more power to you. But I have a personal rule where I refuse to use them. At least not anymore. Ooh, Wirewood Symbiote. That actually will be good for later on. So for now, let's see here. What do we want? Well, I guess Rofellos comes out now. We want to try to do this as quick as possible. And Wirewood Symbiote. At the very least, if we need to in a pinch, we could instantly bounce back Rofellos if we need to have him survive a hit. So in a weird way, Wirewood Symbiote actually kind of works as a nice little protection spell, kind of. Okay, looks like our opponent wants to burn us out with Sabo Tender. Okay, that's cute. All right. They ping. Usually I'm the person that likes to ping, but not today. We're playing green. It's actually not a color I play too often, but in this instance, it should be good. Okay, so Rofellos now. So has 3 mana, and we have plenty here. So here's how we do this. Let's play the Dwinian Guiltleaf Dan now. All right, nice. And Tireless Provisioner now. So there we go. We got the ramp going. Do we attack now? Do they risk losing their Sabo Tender? Nah. It's tempting. It's very tempting, but we need to hold out just in case. Scoot Swarm. Okay. Opponent also wants to go big with tokens, or I should say go wide. Huh. Not what I was expecting out of a top deck, but okay. Opponent wants to start making tokens. But we should be no problem going big and wide here in a bit. Oh, beautiful. Gingerbread Cabin. Okay, get that ramp going. Make a treasure. Make food. Impervious Perfect. So even more elves now come out to play. Beautiful, by the way. Okay, so since it's still early, I don't think our opponent's going to take the hit here, so we should be able to safely swing. Maybe I'm a little greedy here. But let's see. Wirewood Symbiote can be used if we're going to anticipate a bad block. Oh, they do anticipate a black. Okay, so in that case then. Let's see. And then bounce that. Back to hand. It avoids getting hit. All right. Down to 13. Nice. Okay, and then that allows us to redeploy Rofellos here. No problem. He avoids taking any damage. We got to make sure we protect Rofellos at all costs. That's our only way we're going to start ramping like crazy. Okay, here comes Toph. So that means now all of their stuff turns into lands, but they don't tap for mana. So, in a weird way, we should be okay for a little bit. At least I hope so. We'll also start making our elves very soon here with tokens. So this should be good to go. Okay. Llanowar Elves. So now this is where we also kind of need to start building up other things here. Let's make some food tokens, actually. Just in case we need to slowly start pinging away at our opponent. Okay. So in that case then. Alright. This actually might be an interesting stalemate now. It's well, they're going to start sacrificing the baubles, so no. So this is what our opponent I see is going to do. They're going to start sacrificing the Mishra's baubles. We've done this combo ourselves, so this is not surprising our opponent will do it themselves. I mean, it really is a really good combo here. So you sacrifice, well, it's an artifact land. After it's been earthbended, you then can bring it back and start drawing more cards. It's a neat little engine. Gotta be honest about that. That's why we did it before. Okay, so our opponent will draw. But as long as we can start making with Impervious Perfect Elf Warriors, we can also go wide too, although we won't be as fast. And this also exemplifies one of the downsides to a mono green deck. As you can see here, our opponent's going to start going pretty wild now. Okay. Our biggest hope right now is a way to give everything trample and also pump, but I don't know if we're going to have enough time to do that now. Okay, so our opponent, going a little big. It's a lot of tokens. Ugh. We can't make tokens as fast. I mean, I can activate here. Make at least one little warrior. Okay. Toph does metal bending shenanigans. Okay. Okay, Spring Bloom Druid. Okay. Nothing major, but this will help us out a little bit here. So we sacrifice a forest to get out 2 more forests. So the good news, of course, is right now we have lots of food so we can sponge hits. The only awkward part is we don't have a way of helping us go wider faster. I mean, Rofellos has all the mana in the world right now, along with Impervious Perfect, but we don't really have a way of kind of churning through our deck. Also one of the awkward downsides of a budget deck. But it's okay, everybody. Let's see. Can our opponent find a way to close this out? Or can we slowly outdo them? I mean, at this point, though, it's not looking good for us. They can only ping us for a little bit here and there, but those Scoot Swarms are not going to have any chill. Okay, opponent. Drawing more cards. Note to self, though. We will need a Roaming Throne for the... No. Okay, so that's their closer right there, everybody. All right. If they don't go wide with Scoot Swarms, they're definitely going to go big with that Hydra. Joy. All right. I don't know if and when our opponent's going to swing, but it should be anytime now. Okay, opponents. Yep. All right, and then I guess that's game, because I realize that's 63 swinging at us. We have no shot of closing this out.
That's rough, buddy.
Yeah, you're telling me so, go. Okay, it's fine, everybody. It's fine. Okay. No big deal. That was the first game. We'll shake it off and we'll try again. Okay. So now that the holidays, or I should say Christmas time is over, for those of you that did celebrate, what did you get? Or did you celebrate like Kwanzaa, or was it Boxing Day if you're Canadian, or what is it? Or those of you that also celebrate Hanukkah, whatever holiday you did celebrate, did you get any gifts? And if so, what did you get? Did you get what you wanted, or did you get something that you weren't expecting? Let me know in the comments, everybody. I would love to hear from you. While you guys take the time to answer that, let's lock into our next one.
It's time to
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, still pretty decent here. We can start digging out everything we need pretty easily. Veto here means that's sacrificed. So we'll see if that's going to be something to worry about. Bushwhack. So we got another basic, so we make sure we can fix properly. Okay. So with that, and also we have a Harmonize, so we do have a way of kind of drawing some cards. Should be good, right? All right, opponents. I do like the sleeves, those, wow. Wow. Okay, that's an Azula. Wow. Talk about a sleeve that goes hard. No, seriously, these sleeves go like, those are hardcore sleeves. Dang, that's intense. Maybe I should be rocking those. I mean, again, me being a fireball and everything. Thank you. Okay, so in any case, shaking that off, let's see here. We will, I want to put out Rofellos, but if they're going to be doing stuff here, well, I don't know. Let's give it this instead. Wirewood Symbiote, all right. Pump that doesn't do anything, but that's okay. At least with a Symbiote out, I can use Rofellos once it comes in and then bounce it back to avoid any danger. Okay, Undercity, Scrounger. Okay, that's cute. So we'll play Rofellos now. Gets a little pump there. Elvish Mystic coming in. It's another little bit of pump, but we can't do anything just yet, so no swings. That's okay, though. No big deal. Okay, what else you got, opponent? Okay, Volatile Vault. Those do absolutely nothing because we're basically all in on basics. Got him. Gotcha, opponent. Okay. Is Veto coming in yet? Skrelv side. Okay. So they're going to use that for sack fodder. That's cute, by the way. I actually do like this card, by the way. I do like making mites. Don't know why, but I was a big fan of mites when that was a thing. Okay, so Bounty of Skemfar. So let's get out a forest, and we will get into our hand. Ooh, Dwinian Guiltleaf. All right, so now we have 4 mana there. So that means now we can play. Let's tap here. Llanowar Visionary. Nice. A little pump there. Draw another card. Okay, good. Druid of the Cowl also coming in too. There we go. So little by little, as you can see, Elves, if nothing else, they can just keep ramping for days. Okay, so with that, I realized also we never played with Veto here. If you guys want to see me play cards from past sets, let me know in the comments, everybody. I would love to hear from you. Maybe we can do maybe a flashback series of live streams. Okay, here we go. Veto coming in. He's here for value. Here we go. So fetch lands. Trying to make him go off. All right, that's fair. But let's see. Can we make this work? This can only work if a creature died. Okay, so he has to lose the might. So with that... Okay, play the forest. So Rofellos is nice now. He's got a lot to pump with. We'll play our Dwinian Guiltleaf. Nice, get a little pump there. We'll play Pima Outrider. Fabricate, and that means we'll put a counter on it. We will Harmonize, draw 3 cards. All right, and with that, bounce back while we have this floating mana. Hold on. Submit. Oh, hold on. Wait, did I do that wrong? Oh, I did that wrong. Oops. Okay. Nobody make fun of me for that one. I realize now I did that wrong. Okay. All right, all right. Oops. What I was supposed to do was I was supposed to bounce back that and then untap the Rofellos. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, everyone. We can still make it work. Okay, Ruthless Lawbringer. Oh, okay. So what do they hit? So that means they can destroy Rofellos if they want to. Oh, okay. Okay, so with that, Wirewood... Wait, hold on. Turn an elf. Okay. Wait, am I doing this right? I can't tell. Okay, they make a treasure. So at least Ruthless Lawbringer doesn't do anything. Okay, Baron. Baron Bertram. Let's see. Opponent swings with Veto. We go to 19. No big deal for us. So with that, Forest again. Make a lot of mana. Play Dwinian, Guiltleaf again. Nice pump there. We'll play Wren's, reveal an elf. Okay, that remaining 2. We'll show off the Pollen Bright Druid. Nice. Pollen Bright Druid comes in. Alright, we will proliferate. Okay, nice little 6/6 there. That's cute, by the way. And then from here, Zephyr Boots. Put the Zephyr Boots on the Outrider. So now he's a flying elf. Nice! Down to 20. We draw a card. Oh, we gotta throw that away. Dang, it's okay. No big deal, everybody. And then from here, Tyvar, I guess, comes in. And that's a little pump there. And we'll pass. Okay, so with Tyvar, now we can definitely go really, really wild here. We can definitely let loose next turn. All we just got to do is survive the turn. Okay, opponent. What will you do? We are completely out of cards. We just dumped out our whole hand because, I mean, elves. I mean, they definitely make a ton of mana. Okay. Almost got 3 cards in hand. They can do their sack shenanigans if they need to. Let's see. Return an elf you control to its owner's hand. Untap target creature. Okay. So they gain 1. Do they gain 2 more life? They do. They can start making stuff. Okay. Alright, they're pumping 2. Opponent, you swinging? Maybe? Okay. Nothing yet, so they warp it out. Nice! Okay, Llanowar Tribe. That's something. Alright. Let's see. Okay, well, this is it, everybody. So we are going to swing here. Gain 9. Okay, opponents. What are you blocking? Okay, anything else? Block air. All right, that's cute. Anything else? Maybe I was a little reckless here, but let's see. Can we push through here? Can we just bluntly just force our way through no matter what? Thankfully, our opponent is tapped out, so there's not really much they can do at this point. They just have to take the hit. There's 2 little blockers here they cannot block. Okay, Vampire Rogue. Veto. Okay. Is that it, opponents? There we go. Thank you, Rofellos. Elves, everybody. Smashy, smashy. Woo! Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, my opponents. We've got the win there, everybody. All right. Yeah. First win of the night, everybody. And looking good there. All right. So there you go, everybody. Elves still got it. On a budget, too, no less. That's great. That's great. All right. So that's our first win of the night. Love it. See if we can keep the good times rolling. Now, granted, of course, I know it's not always going to work out that well. I mean, it is what it is, but we were able to still make it work. Okay, so our opponent is playing a card I've actually never seen. Which one was this again? Let me see. Oh, it's the what is it? Vigo is, it's a symbiote. So is this it's the Jund Venom card from Spider-Man? Although in what is it? Omen Pass, I've lost track of those cards. I honestly don't care. But anyways, we'll see how this goes. Sneaky Toilet, Noise, hey, hey, hello, my fire friend, good evening, how you doing today? Hopefully you're having a wonderful time wherever you're at. So you're just in time, we were managing to actually, keep this hand by the way, we can still make him go off. We're just in the middle of us seeing if we can go big and wide with Elves. When Santa's away, the Elves will play. Alright, so with that, we'll play Bushwhack. Start getting our ramp going, digging out our basics, so Rofellos can do its thing. Next turn. Okay, Swamp, Rampant Growth. Okay, opponent is going to start doing their thing. So when Vigo enters, return target creature card with mana value 1 or less. Okay, so our opponent is going to try to start doing their ramp. Put Rofellos out there. We came here for a reason. We want Rofellos to start getting us our ramp. As fast as possible, by the way. Okay, Hero's Downfall. Alright, no surprise. Okay, so we're slowed down a little bit, but not a huge deal. We still have plenty of ways of making everything work. Druid of the Cowl. With a Lade Cover Scout. Okay, either way, we will force our way through with Rofellos. Since you're here, Sneaky Toilet, how'd your holiday season gone so far? If you celebrated Christmas, did you get what you wanted? Alright, in the meantime, Gingerbread Cabin. Nice. Alright, and then let's see here. We will Kenrith Transformation. Actually, hold on. So we'll turn this into an elk. Too bad, opponents. I mean, you can make it indestructible until you and however you want, but that doesn't change anything. Nice. We got Elvish Archdruid, so that also is another way we can ramp. So no attacks, of course. Okay, so as long as our elves stay in play here, we should be able to then force our way through with Rofellos. We can start getting all of our mana dorks out, and we should be good with a Lion Umbra. Okay, Overlord. Okay, full power. Okay, opponent is going to start trying to bring stuff back from the graveyard. Will their graveyard shenanigans work against us? I guess we'll find out here. So with that, let's play Llanowar Elves. So before we tap our Archdruid, we want to get the most value out of him. So with that. Okay, nice. We'll then play Rofellos. There we go. And then let's see. I guess we'll play Pima Outrider. Fabricate 1. Counter on that. No attacks yet. Alright, so we have all the ramp in the world now. We just need to ambush, and hopefully we can go wide really quick here, and hopefully that should be enough to start really overwhelming our opponents. Opponent shocks themselves to 22. Vigo coming in with its other side. So it's now end of Ig's Crossing. Okay, so sacrifice another creature. We do. They draw X cards. Okay. So that's how they got rid of our Kenrith Transformation. Annoying, but that's okay. Not a huge deal. We can still make it work. They're going to force their way in with Sneak Attack. Okay. That's what our opponent's going to try to do here. In the meantime, no blocks. We'll take the hit, so we go to 15. Can we do this? We'll see. We're going to try. Opponent's got to throw away a card. Okay. Woodland Champion. All right. This should be good for us. So, Woodland Champion. Nice. And then, here's how we do this. So, tap, tap. Oh, actually, hold on. I can do this even better here. Elven Ambush. He's a 12-12 now. Nice. Okay. And then from here, let's see. Well, I guess we'll put it on the Pima Outrider. Okay, we got an 8-8 here. So, now we got all the mana in the world. Actually, we'll just attack with everybody here. Down to 1. All right, opponents. 1 turn. Do you have the answer? Is that Lumara, Bellows of the Wind, going to be what saves you? I guess we'll find out here. Sneak attack. Diamond weapon. Okay. That is a scary creature. Can't prevent the combat damage. Okay. Whip of Erebos. Oh, and they got lifelink on it too. Alright. Okay. Opponents. Getting a little sneaky there, but we do have some big creatures, and we have plenty of tokens. So our opponent here, they sacrifice it. They draw a ton of cards. But is that enough? They can whip up Erebos as well here. They mill. Bring back a bunch of lands. Do some more milling. Okay. Ugh. Not ideal, but we can still make it work, everybody. We're not giving up here. Okay. So with that. Alright, so we can take the hit. They go back up in life, though. But I'm not actually worried. They're only 3 mana open. We'll go to 5. Okay. They go up to 11. That Lumara is going to give them a ton of life back. But maybe that's not horrible for us. Okay. Opponent. Got to just toss away a lot of cards. But did we score a win here again? We'll find out here in a moment. Oh man, if we only had our 1 card to devote, we would be set to go. Okay. Opponent's got a lot of lifelink thanks to Whip of Erebos. Is that enough, though? Okay. Pima Outrider. Has protection also. Woodland Champion is also another one of our big creatures. We'll find out in a moment, everybody. Can we pull this off? Opponent has to have some kind of removal, though. I swear they... Okay, so they got eaten alive. Okay, so they got rid of one of our big beefy creatures that way. Annoying. But it's not the end of the world for us. If we can also at least get maybe one of our Anthem effects, that also would help us out too. Okay, they throw away a ton. Okay, Forest is not what we need right now. I guess we'll just eat the food. Okay, so with that, can we blunt force our way through? So that means they block here and they go up, what is it? 22 life? Ugh. That's not good. Let's see, 22 life there. They block 2 creatures, but then that means... How much do we have power-wise here? 11. That's okay. That's 20. Counterbalanced. 20 here. 2, 22, 24, 26, 28, 31, 40. Okay. I guess we'll just bluff our way through this one. That's all we can do. Okay. Opponents? Did we bluff our way to a win? I mean, they got to block no matter what. And I know next turn we may not have enough to survive. So... Down to 20. Oh, they go up to 2. Okay. Okay, well, it looks like our opponent got us here. We'll just call it now. Dang, we were low by just 2 points there. Shame. But it's okay, everybody. If that Woodland Champion survived, we would have gotten the win there. But our opponent had a way to get around us. No big deal, though, everybody. No big deal. It's okay. Take the wins and take the losses where we can. We still got plenty of time in the stream to see if we can make up for that. So let's give it a shot still. We are not giving up just yet. Okay. So, question for everybody here. Nothing magic related, but who has anything planned out for the 31st? Y'all planning to celebrate on the eve of the new year? We'll see if maybe we can try to squeeze in a stream. If not New Year's Eve, maybe, I don't know, maybe something on Tuesday? I haven't figured it out yet, everybody. We'll try to see if we can do something. If not, worst case scenario, we can just do one, you know, on New Year's Day or whatever. Either way, you know, we'll have some fun. We'll have some fun. We'll have some good stuff to come up with. Okay, so we have Tyvar here. Spring Bloom. Priest. Okay. Nice. But don't think this is the end of Elves for us for a bit, everybody. Once we start getting the lore win, you know we have to go in on Elves again. There actually already is one card that already popped out that we're definitely going to go back to Golgari Elves once the time comes. I'm definitely hyped for that. And I hope also everyone's also looking forward to lore win as well. If it's one thing, there's two types of sets I like when it comes to Magic. I like Ravnica style sets where it's a very much color identity stuff. And my other favorite part is any sets that are creature focused. I love creature sets. What are your favorite styles of Magic gameplay, everybody? Let me know in the comments, and I would love to hear from you. Opponent, you there? They're playing mono green too, because they're playing Azusa. So we'll see if we can get around that. They're going ramping as well. Are they a Stompy deck, or are they just a Landfall deck? Utopia Sprawl. That's cute. Okay, Druid of the Cowl. So I guess we will get our ramp package going. Might as well now while we can. Okay. Game plan is we need to get aggressive and fast. Ooh, Yappy Mile. That's cute also. I mean, we're all forests here now. Double forests. You see Rainforest. Sacking it. So I'm guessing they're a landfall deck if they're using fetch lands. Border Nihilate. Oh, that's beautiful for us. That actually is good. Very good. Okay, so how do we do this here? How do I want to do this? I guess Priest comes in. That pumps up Llanowar. Order of Nylea. We swing here. What's a counter on it? Alright, damaged. So let's see. We need to get to 3 counters. Defense of the Heart. Controls 3 or more creatures. Okay, so in that case then, Forest. Okay, well, I guess we're going to have to do this here now. Not ideal. Sacrifice here. Get 2 forests. Get our ramp going. So let's how this works. Beginning for upkeep. If an opponent controls 3 or more creatures, sacrifice. Okay, it's at their upkeep. Alright, so in that case... Okay. Protect Rofellos at all costs. We'll play Tyvar. Going good here. Pump again. And final pump. Nice! Okay, opponent, do you block? Wow, they do. Okay. I guess they got what they needed, I suppose. So, with what we have, we should have actually enough with Tyvar here to do our game plan. It won't be a huge amount of pump, but that should be enough to actually crush our opponent here very easily. Okay, so we got big creatures out. Primeval Titan. Scary, but not the worst right now. As always, I really wish we couldn't... I wish we could omit alchemy cards. Some of these cards are just stupid. So, Mythweaver Pog I've played against enough now where I hate this card, by the way. Absolutely hate it, but it's fine. They name Eldrazi, so I'm guessing they're going to play Eldrazi. Joy. Okay, forest again. Everything's a forest. Okay, anything else, opponent? Primeval Bounty, okay. Oh, Reclamation Sage. That's pretty nice for us. So, with this... Reclamation Sage. Sorry, opponent. What do you say to that, Zugo?
That's rough, buddy.
Alright, so with that, we swing here. We'll hold back on Rofellos. Nice. Get 2 more pumps there. Opponents. Blocking? Maybe? Maybe, or not. Okay, so they do hit Tyvar there. So, first we get the pump. And there you go, everybody. Down to 1 again. Opponent, you have 1 turn to stop us. Do you have an answer? Did our mono green elves overrun their landfall smashy shenanigans? Ooh, Ulamog. Yeep. Well, the good news from this is, even if they exile 2 of our cards here. That's not enough. Sure, opponent, put down Ulamog. We don't care. That's not enough to stop us in our game plan here. Yes, we got him. Victory goes to us. Elves stomping out our opponent before their Eldrazi can do the same. All right, very nice, very nice. We got another win there. Oh, and an achievement. That's cute. Okay, we'll check out that achievement in a bit. So that's our second win for the day, everybody. So with the time right now, let's see if maybe we can do one more in budget form. After that, then we will go to the non-budget one. There are a couple tweaks I might have missed from earlier when I was testing out the deck earlier today. So we'll try to see if we can squeeze in at least, I think I'm missing maybe like 2 cards in the upgraded version. And that should be enough to give us the oomph we need to make the mono green upgraded deck absolutely ridiculous. We'll talk about that, however, in a moment. Until then, let's see. Okay, so we got... Okay. This will definitely give us the pump we need, and we can start getting our game plan going. We'll use the go forth on instant speed. I actually really like that fact that this is an instant speed card. Really cool that that's pump or, again, for digging out a basic. Okay, Maestro's Theater. Opponent's playing Ozai, the Phoenix King. We haven't had a chance to play Ozai yet. I actually do want to have a deck ready to go for this. So I'm looking at possibly an Ozai deck, hopefully by next week. Hopefully. Okay. Basic. Okay, get out of forest at instant speed. Nice. Elvish Archer, also nice. So let's see here. We will play Rofellos now. If our opponent has removal, so be it. You know they have to have something. It's going to be a while before they get to Ozai, though. Okay, nice. So, forest. We will... Let's see here. How do I do this? Let's get down the Heraldic Banner now. On green. Nice. We will play Elvish Archroot while we can. And pass. Sneaky Toilet. Sorry, what ignoring you. Dog just needed me. That's cool, man. No big deal. I got most of what I wanted. I even got myself an early birthday present. A rack from a gym bench. Nice. Gotta get those gains, my man. How was my celebration? Good question. So, where I was, it was raining absolutely hard. Thankfully, though, I was able to stay home and be a nice little bed potato, if you will. But realistically, it's not like I had that much time to rest, mostly just because I was spending most of that time recording and also trying to get up the next video in time for the end of the year. So thankfully, the video is in progress to hopefully be done soon, assuming I don't run into more issues. But also, I did manage to get the computer parts I did want, so we might take some time to see if maybe late tonight I could try to upgrade my computer. I have a new motherboard, but also I had to feel like I was pressured to do it because if you haven't seen, for those of you that know on PC, computer parts now are starting to get a little expensive. So it's getting a little tough out there for us peeps that love to do computer stuff and are just not quite getting there. All right, Pollen Bright Druid. Okay, we'll put a counter on... What do we want to counter on? Well, I guess Pollen Bright Druid. All right, and then with that, swing with our Mana Dorks. Sure, why not? Down to 19 opponents. But yeah, upgrading my computer right now feels like I'm under pressure because I've seen that, man, RAM is now getting out of control with the pricing. So I feel like now I have to upgrade my computer now or I'm not going to get a chance to do it again for another, I don't know, 2 years or more. Not the best time right now to do PC stuff. But I feel like I have to lock in before it's too late. I don't know. If anybody else has that problem with their PC stuff, hopefully y'all locked in your computer parts before things got too out of control. Man, I really should have gotten the RAM I wanted before it was too late. But it's too late now. Opponents, meanwhile, circling back to the game here. Opponents made some treasures. They have 1 floating red mana. Bitter Triumph. Okay. Okay. Take away Rofellos. Not a huge deal because we have plenty of mana anyway, so that's not the worst for us. Evolution Sage. Forest. Okay. Rofellos coming back. Attended Socialite. Okay. Swing with Pollen Bright Druid. Down to 14. Okay. Elves just finding their way to just bluntly just smash our opponents. But yeah, and then also have a Switch 2, which I've been finally trying to buy more games for. I also did manage to buy a couple new PC games as well, so I'm happy about that. Just hopefully we'll have time to play them. Maybe we might do some, again, some unique streams in the future. Oh, Ozai. Making all the mana because he's the Phoenix King. Okay, so how do we do this here? Alright, well, I guess we'll just block here and block here. If he has anything else... Ooh, Chaos Warp. Wow. Not quite what I was expecting, but okay. Down to 20. Okay. Barrio. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, so they still have one more mana open. They swing for 7, 10, 11, 12. Can't really do much here. I mean, I could push damage out, but... Do they block? I guess we'll find out here. Okay, down to 8. So we're still in a decent spot. See, Toilet Yo Inferno. Speaking of Ozai, I had a really cool play because of him. I like reanimation deck, so I was able to reanimate him. Then his Fire Emitting 4 gave me the mana for that 9 mana reanimate all. Nice! That sounds pretty sweet. I do know we have a reanimator deck I'm working on that maybe we might get ready to go for next week. We'll see what we can do. I do want to do Ozai, though. We still got to wrap up the rest of the legendary creatures from Avatar. Oh, and timely malfunctions. Okay. Opponents. Alright. Making us unable to block. But is that enough? Laughing Mad. Okay. They draw 2 new cards. Okay. I have to let it go. Down to 8. But on the backswing, did we win? Fire Nation. Wow. Fire Nation drill off the top? You gotta be kidding me. Okay, so opponent blows up our Rofellos. Annoying. Okay, back to the command zone. Mount Doom. Okay. Chance met Elves. Not quite what I was expecting, but okay. Well, I mean... I guess it doesn't matter anyway because we still get the win no matter what. So, victory to us. Opponent was going to lose on the backswing there, and I was like, wait, why am I overthinking this? Of course we were going to win. Yay! Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so as we now reach the halfway point of the stream, we got to now take this deck to the next level. So what if we actually invest a little bit more into Elves and make the Elven Elite even stronger? So this is now going to be the upgraded version, everybody. I do realize, though, there's technically, I realized like one card I want to add in here. So give me 1 second here to add this in. I realized Roaming Throne actually was being really good for our deck here. So Roaming Throne also is beautiful. We'll need to figure out what do we want to cut, though. So with that, let's see here. What do we want to cut to make room for the Roaming Throne? I feel like Ivy Lane Denizen might be a little too slow for the deck. Because we're not worried about +1/+1 counters too much here. We just want to start getting our stuff going. So I think that'll probably be our best option there. But in any case, here's how we're going to be doing this. So, upgrading the deck, we're going to get a lot of expensive, good stuff here. Oh, actually, I realized there's one more card I want to add in too. I've realized now. Hold on. So, got to throw in Calvary Souls too. And, well, I guess Soul Stone Sanctuary also could be good too. In any case, cut those down. Make sure we lock that in real quick. Okay. Sorry. Forgetting a couple key cards there. But in any case, that should now be good. So, with our upgraded Elven deck here, Rofellos will now be teaming up with a lot of good pump here. So Allosaurus Shepherd, ensuring our spells cannot be countered, and another way we can dump all of that extra mana into pumping all of our creatures and making them big dinosaurs in addition to being elves. So this actually is a pretty sweet card, by the way. As far as other upgrades to the deck to make sure we want to get our stuff going, we have Pelt Collector here. Anytime a creature we control enters or dies that has higher power than Pelt Collector, it'll gain a +1/+1 counter, and it has 3 or more, it gains Trample on top of that. So this will become another big creature for us to hit of everything. We'll throw in, of course, Worldly Tutor, so thanks to Avatar, we can now dig out any creature card for 1 green mana and put it into our hand. Or actually, I should say, put that card on top of our library so we can draw into it. Beautiful, by the way. In terms of the upgrades to the 2-drop slot here, we have Fauna Shaman, so another way we can dig out creature cards we want. There's a specific reason why we want to dig out creature cards with our elves, and you'll see in a minute what I mean by that. In terms of other things, we do have protection here. Now we have Heroic Intervention, giving all of our permanents hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Other upgrades we want for the deck, Incubation Druid here. If we can put a +1/+1 counter on it, it can add 3 mana of any color, which is good for us to just keep the ramp package going. We'll throw in Innkeeper's Talent here, giving each at the beginning of our turns a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control. At level 2, gives all of our permanents with counters on them Ward 1. So this will be great. And then, of course, once we start pumping it up to level 3, we can start doubling the counters and start going super crazy with it. In terms of other upgrades for the deck, we will also throw in, let's see, we have Leaf Crown Visionary, so this is one of our upgraded elves here, giving all of our elves another +1/+1 pump. Anytime we cast an elf spell, we can pay green to draw a card, so this helps fix one of our biggest issues, which was card draw in the budget deck, so good for us. We're going to throw in Sylvan Anthem here. So this card here, anytime a green creature we control enters, we get to scry 1 and put +1, and we can pump up our team with +1/+1. So this actually goes well with one of the other cards that was in the deck. If I can find it, maybe we cut it. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a second. Other upgrades to the deck, we can throw in now Balaged Recovery here. You can actually throw all these utility lands in anyway, but I just didn't want to have any tapped lands when we were actually playing our elves earlier on. But they're still good for us even overall. With Bounty, actually no. Wait, what was it talk about this card? What hold else we have? Bridgewood Battles here, so also gives another pump and also another way to fight creatures for spot removal. Otherwise, it can be a land if we need to in a pinch. In terms of other upgrades for the deck here, we have Marwyn the Nurturer. Anytime another elf we control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on Marwyn, and then we add the amount of green equal to her power. So even with our other elves pumping up our game plan here, this will just get bigger naturally and give us again more ramp. We have Nissa Research Animus here, has landfall. Anytime a land we control enters, we can add 1 mana of any color. If we could do this a second time, we can then reveal cards from the top of our library until we get an elf card out and put it into our hand. So another way we can start digging through our deck and getting us more value. In terms of other cards here, Realmwalker here is an honorary elf because we can then name as a changeling elf, and then we get to look at the top card of our library at any time to then cast creature spells that are elves from that chosen name. We'll throw in also Rishkar Pima Renegade here. When Rishkar enters, put a +1/+1 counter on 2 target creatures, and each creature becomes a mana dork as long as they have a +1/+1 counter on them. So that's actually great for us. Other upgrades for the deck that are going to help us out here that we can get Flare of Cultivation here. Sacrifices at sorcery speeds, and then one of our spells here to dig out 2 basic lands. This can be a free spell if we sacrifice a non-token creature. We'll also throw in Archdruid's Charm here, so this can either be Artifact or Enchantment Hate, +1/+1 counter shenanigans, and spot removal, or we can use this to dig out a creature or land card and then reveal it, put it onto the battlefield if it's a land card, or put it into our hand if it's a creature card. We'll throw in Circle of Dream Druids, so this also will be another great way to add mana for each creature we control, which is nice. In terms of other upgrades here, we have another big beater here, Steel Leaf Champion. Cannot be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so this can either pass by all of the mana dorks out there, and also cheap stuff. Tribute to the World Tree here, a great way for us to pump up all of our elves initially. Anytime a creature we control enters, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it if its power is less than 3. We'll throw in, of course, for more protection, Mithril Coat, giving one of our creatures indestructible, so that's also nice for us. In the 4-drop slot for upgrades for the deck, we'll throw in Canopy Tactician here. Other elves also get a +1/+1 pump, and also it can add 3 green mana, so that's good for us. We'll, of course, add an Oracle of Moldiah here, an Elf Shaman. We can play additional lands on each of our turns. Same thing, we can dig through the top of our libraries and then play lands from the top of our library. So a great way for us to keep churning through our deck. Beast Whisperer does also the same thing too. Cast creature spells, draw cards. We'll throw in, as I mentioned earlier, Roaming Throne. So, of course, when this creature enters, we then name elves. Anytime a triggered ability of another creature we control triggers, we can get double the triggers off of it. So beautiful for our deck to get more value. And then finally here, we have the Great Henge here. Just again, as we get bigger and bigger creatures, we can then use this to help draw our cards, put +1/+1 counters, gain life. It does so much. It's just good green stuff. You got to have it in the deck. Speaking of what you got to have in the deck, since we are going all in on elves here, there's a big reason why we want to dig out creatures specifically. We want to be able to get our finisher at any time. That's Craterhoof Behemoth, everybody. So, of course, you all know what this has to do. When this enters, creatures we control gain trample and +X+X, where X is the number of creatures we control. So this will be another big beatdown for our game plan here. Really good for us. We got to have it in the deck. Now, the only other major upgrades, of course, will be in the land base itself. So, more importantly, you need to have a Yami Vaya, Cradle of Growth, giving all of our lands forests in addition to its other types. So this means Rofellos will be able to then go off with all of our lands. But we are going to utilize a lot of utility lands this time around. So we'll throw in again for non-basic land hate, Volatile Falls. For creature land, we have Soulstone Sanctuary. For graveyard hate, we have Scavenger Grounds. Plaza of Heroes for protection purposes. Mutavault can also be another creature land. Fountain Port can then sacrifice a lot of our extra tokens for more value. Demolition Field for also additional non-basic land hate. Caverner's Souls. Make sure that any of our creature spells cannot be countered for at least for that mana. Arid Archway can bounce back any one of our stuff that we cast, such as Balagad Recovery, as a land and bounce it back to make it more value. The Shire, of course, so you can tap some creatures to make some food tokens. We'll then trim ourselves down to 20 forests, but as long as we can get the Yami-Vaya out, we should be fine there. Beseiju, of course, for then additional artifact, non-basic land hate, or enchantments. And finally, Bossing Say to earthbend some stuff to get more landfall triggers when we turn those lands into creature lands. And that is the upgraded deck for everybody. Can this upgraded version actually be better than the budget one? Well, let's find out. So let's take this now into the Brawl format, and let's finish up this stream with an upgraded version of the deck. Okay, going back to the chat here, Sneaky Toilet asking, which bending would you want in real life, and why is it bloodbending? Bloodbending is just, I mean, don't get me wrong, bloodbending is absolutely broken. Like, in terms of all the bending elements out there, I mean, what's the other second most powerful bending? Is it metal bending? I would think metal bending probably would be the other second most strongest one. Am I right or am I wrong? Anybody else out there disagree with me? Let me know in the comments, everybody. I would love to hear from you. Although then again, airbending can also be broken too. You actually can do some really scary things with airbending besides flying. If you've seen Korra, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, beautiful. We got Yami-Vaya off the top here. Nice. So this will help us ensure that cards like Arid Archway will be forests for us. We can start ramping quick. Our opponent's playing Jan Jansen here, which is a nice card, by the way. I love that card. Maybe we should do a token deck on Jan Jansen at the time being. I've been meaning to do some more stuff like that. But until then, Rofellos coming out. Okay, opponents. Arid Mesa, Retrofit Foundry. Ooh, great card, by the way, for their deck. So in the meantime here, Plaza of Heroes. And then we will get out Reclamation Sage. Aw, opponent! Aw, we were just getting started there. Okay, well, it is what it is, everybody. Free win for us. Yay! I was hoping to go off there, but I guess our opponent did not want to have it. I don't blame him, though. Once Rofellos starts snowballing, it gets ridiculous. All right, so I guess we'll just keep the win streak going, everybody. But we can't quite beat last week's win streak? When we played Shrines last week, we didn't lose a single game the entire stream. Although granted, we have lost a couple times today. Not a big deal. We're still getting more wins than losses, so I will take that, by the way. I'll take that. Oh, okay. Whew. Gotta hydrate over here. Make sure to always hydrate, kids. Always hydrate. Okay, so while we're waiting for our next opponent here, we're just gonna be going in right now. Question for everybody again. So, what was your card of 2025? What did you think was the best card in your opinion? And why is it Vivi? Honest question on that one. I don't think I can really think any other card beats out Vivi for 2025. But if you disagree with me for whatever reason, let me know, everybody. I would love to hear from you. Opponent is playing Lightning here, so they're going to be swinging in with equipment. Sure, why not? Why not, opponents? Let's play first off Yami-Vaya. So that means everything is a forest. Cool. I do love these lands, though. These are beautiful lands, though. Love it, love it. I probably should be collecting some more unique lands. Demolition Field, okay. Let's see here. All right, we'll play Rofellos first off. I'm hoping that because they're Boros, hopefully they won't have that much removal. Or maybe not. Like they do have Lightning Strike. Or actually, wait, Lightning Bolt. How very humorous of you, opponent. You are playing Lightning, and you had a Bolt. Alright. So, let's see here. How do we do this? Is there a way out of this? I guess Reclamation Sage coming in now. Leyline X, say goodnight.
That's rough, buddy.
Too bad. So that means our opponent has to play things fairly. So no double striking shenanigans yet. Cloud, okay. Alright, I guess we're going to dig out another equipment. Is it going to be the hammer? No, it's not. Maul the Skyclaves. Okay. Opponent swinging here. We can't fight that with first strike, so we got to wait for a little bit. Bolt Wave. Ouch. Okay, so in the meantime here, let's see. What do we want to do here? Llanowar Visionary. Draw another card. Come on. Okay, we didn't get what we wanted there, but that's okay. Bounce back to Forest. No attacks yet. Okay. I'm hoping we can survive before it's too late here, but this might be... We might have fallen a little short here. Being unable to get Rofellos' mana out quick is going to slow us down a lot. Okay, opponent's got multi-cyclaves. We go to 11. Okay, so Pelt Collector. Okay, so with that, Forest. We will play Pelt Collector. We will play... Dwinian Guilt Leaf. Okay, so we got some pump there. Big swing here. Guess we'll do them the damage while we can. Down to 27. They are put us at 11, though. We can block with the Guilt Leaf Dan if we need to. Sneaky Toilet. Vivi was so OP. No card gave mana, did damage, and was still able to attack the same turn at the cost of 3 mana. Wild, wild. Oh yeah, I could not agree with you more. Don't worry, everybody. We are going to put out, of course, my little short on what I think is the card of the year, but it's pretty obvious. It's definitely got to be... Okay, so with that, we'll lose Pelt Collector here. Small price to pay. Okay, so at least that's out of the way. But yeah, Vivi just is absolutely stupid, by the way. Just stupid. I am not kidding you on that one. Lewd Food joining us on the chat here tonight. How you doing, my fire friend? Hope you're having a wonderful night wherever you're at. My friend just bought me Vivi for Christmas. It's a disgustingly good card. Oh yeah, I could not agree more. So much so that I'm not gonna lie. I may have purchased a copy for my Izzet deck. I do have to apologize to you, Niv Mizzet. Niv Mizzet Perun, one of my favorite cards. You might just get replaced in 2026 for my Izzet deck. FYI. But until then, let's see. How do we want to do this here? So... Okay, Hydro Growth. Okay, we're going to have to do it this way then. I guess we'll have to do Innkeeper's Talent. And then... Okay, take that number 2. Okay, so for now, swing with that to 29. So let's see. Lightning now has to sponge a hit unless they put more stuff in. Oh. That's annoying. Okay. Opponents found a way to get around us. Joy. Wow. Was not expecting that, but okay. Well, opponent got us there. Good job, opponent. Got a sneaky win across us there. I'll give you that. See, Toilet Inferno, what sort of deck do you think Ozai belongs in? A pump deck or burn deck? That's a good question. So, with Ozai, I mean, you can build him a couple ways. I mean, because he's expensive, so you need to ramp like crazy with him. But with all that mana that you keep and gets converted to red, I'm either thinking like you go super crazy pump with him, you draw a bunch of cards and discard stuff. I'm not sure. I have to take the time to kind of look at him. I'm definitely going to build him, but I just need to figure out what's the best way to make him first off on a budget and then a way to make him non-budget. I kind of want to say pump, but I'm interested in trying out a burn deck with him where he can find a way to maybe like, I don't know, come up with some ways to kind of like just get gnarly with burn spells at instant speed. We'll see what we can do with him. We will definitely see what we can make him do. Okay, so play Leaf Crown Visionary. Swing here. Down to 23. Our opponent is playing Idra here, so that means they're going in on sacrificing and making a lot of food. Into the north. Okay, that's cute. Opponent's getting their ramp going. That's a good question. And then for those of you that are watching right now, what do you think? Would you play a... Okay, we'll draw a card here. Tap. Okay, Llanowar Tribe coming in. Arid Archway. Okay, we'll bounce back the land. What would everybody else play Ozai in? Would you play him as a pump? Burn deck? Maybe you play some kind of spicy Anthem deck. Let me know, everybody. I would love to hear from you on what your thoughts are there. Okay. Thankfully, Great Henge can come in thanks to the ramp here. I love how much this ramps, though. It's so silly. Just to make sure our opponent also doesn't try to get shenanigans going, we will take a turn off to protect Rofellos. So now he's indestructible. Now we get that permanent. That should be good enough for us. Ooh, tribute to the World Tree. Okay. Opponents also trying to do stuff here. So they also have ways of pumping their stuff. But will it be enough? Can we get ahead of them before it's too late? The good news, however, is we have plenty of ways of making the mana we need. Ooh, the Shire. Okay. That's good, too. Let's get Marwyn the Nurturer going. We will tap here, draw a card. Nice. We got a forest. Okay, there we go. Llanowar Tribe. Now here's where the fun comes in. Tap Marwyn. Draw another card. Yay. Oh my goodness, this is just so good right here. And then, I'm sorry, opponents. Tribute to the World Tree's got to go bye-bye. Too bad.
That's rough, buddy.
Oh, I'm so dirty right now. But this is good. This is what you want the deck to do. Okay, so yeah, they got their pump off there. But now we have all the mana we're going to need. We should be able to go off here in the next turn or so. Okay, here comes Igra. Turning all of our stuff into food. Tough cookie, okay. Ooh, reanimates? There are some instant speed reanimation spells you could use. You also could go Spell Slinger too. There are some spells that you can cast and then recast your stuff since the mana doesn't go away. I mean, there's tons of stuff you can do. Alright, so Dwinian Guiltleaf Daein. Okay. Draw another card. Alright, beautiful. Oh my goodness, we have so much mana to go through here. Oh my goodness. I'm going to feel horrible for this, but at the same time, I want to be dirty right now. Craterhoof Behemoth, everybody. Okay, so with that, let's set up the next turn here. We will tap down this since we can't tap it yet. Love it, love it. Okay, and with that, Craterhoof coming in. He big boy, he big boy. Oh, I'm sorry, opponents. And you know what? Everything's indestructible. Big swing. What do you do, opponents? Oh my goodness.
That's rough, buddy.
Oh, I'm so dirty for that, but you know what? That's what the deck wants to do. Yeah, all right. That is the power there of an Elf Ball deck when you go all out, everybody. Man, that's exactly how you want the deck to play. That was the dream, by the way. That was the dream. Nice. Very nice. Bordy Man, sup? Hello, my fire friend. Good evening. How you doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful night wherever you're at. Hopefully you just saw right now, we just steamrolled our opponent with elves. Man, when Santa's away, the elves will play. Doing well? That's good to hear. Did your holiday go well? I mean, assuming, of course, you do celebrate any of the holidays. I mean, it doesn't have to be Christmas. Like, do you celebrate? And that's a good question, too. Y'all celebrate, what is it, Christmas? I don't know, Kwanzaa? Boxing Day for our Canadian friends? Did you celebrate Hanukkah earlier on? Let me know, everybody. Love to hear from you on what you celebrate. You did not see it? Oh, you got to check out the replay on that one. That was a good one, by the way. But even if you didn't, no big deal. We definitely got another game here. We're going to keep these good times rolling. At least for the next, hopefully, 30 minutes or so. I also got to realize I got to make sure I have time to get going with Mrs. Inferno once she is done. Got to make sure we get Din Din set to go. But until then, let's get our first forest. So, we can make stuff with Priest of Titania. That's great. For now, though, let us play Rofellos. All right. As long as they can stick out for at least one turn, we should be good to go here. Okay, beautiful. So we got the Seiju. Okay, so we have 2 mana right now. We need to start going off here. Patchwork Banner on Elf. Nice. Play Priest of Titania. Okay. That should be everything we need to start going off here. Assuming our opponent doesn't blow up our board. Homing Throne. We will name Elf. Maybe. Ooh, counters. Opponent's got to stop our game plan here. That's fine for now. Elvish Clan Caller. Okay, we will play Innkeeper's Talent. Disciple will come in as a land. Start putting counters on stuff. I guess Clan Caller. No big deal. At the same time, we still have plenty of mana here, so we should be good. Opponents. Big double. Boo. Okay. At least that's not one of our dorks, so we should be okay. Beast Whisper. Pollen Bride Druid. Draw a card. Okay, nice. Got the Volatile Vault. We will put a counter on Rofellos here. Volatile Vaults. Ward 2. Okay, Loom's Alm Huntmaster. Nice. Got another card. And we will put it on top of the Priest. Okay. So they have Ward 1. So at least they have a little bit of protection. Not much, but it's something, I guess. Nazgul. Ooh. Okay. Opponent trying to do some Lord of the Rings stuff, but I do like the flavor of the deck, so props to you, opponent. Can't hate on that. Let's see. We will now pump this up to max. So there we go. We got now what we want. We just need to start pumping up everything here. So let's get that going there. Okay. So the only awkward part is now just trying to force our way through here. No attacks yet. It's tempting. It's tempting. If we can get at least one more elf to go off, hopefully we can draw. Sticky Toilet, do you have a sliver deck? I'm new for slivers, but they also sounded hella fun. Ooh, well, I'm glad you asked. Actually, we did do a couple, what was it, a month or two ago? We did do a slivers deck back at the end of our Edge of Eternity's run. We actually have a live stream based around a budget slivers deck. If you haven't checked that out, Sneaky Toilet, you totally should. We actually had a really sweet ending to that one. We actually faced off against a Wizards of the Coast employee. That was actually a hilarious one. And we did highlight that in our own little short. All right, make an elf token. Twinings Elite. Allosaurus Shepherd. All right, there we go. We're doing it. We're doing it. Yes. Elves going off there. Okay, so from here, what do we want? I guess put it on the Pollen Bride Druid. We'll swing with the Druid. Wait, hold on. Can't do that. Yeah. Never mind. They got the One Ring. Oh, very on flavor, opponents. Very, very on flavor. But okay, I think we have enough now where we can possibly destroy our opponent. We just need to hang in there for one turn. One turn, and I think we can get this win. Okay, so with that... Okay. All right. Can we do it? Oh, opponent! Oh, opponent, they just couldn't. They had enough of us. That's rough, buddy. I'll take the win. I'll take the win on that one. It is what it is, everybody. You wisely gave up while we were ahead. Well done, opponent. You read the room. All right. So with that, let's see how much time we got left in the stream. Okay. So, oh, hold on one second. Mrs. Inferno is giving me a message right here. Give me 1 second here, everybody. Don't worry. It's not going to be anything I'm going to read out loud. Okay. Okay. So it looks like Mrs. Inferno actually might be done with, wow, she's actually off her shift a little earlier than I expected. No big deal. So that means what we're probably going to do is maybe 1 or 2 more games here, everybody. So I'm going to have to cut this a little bit short, so apologize for that. But again, Mrs. Inferno, of course, always will come priority before anything else. So not to say I don't love all y'all. Appreciate y'all being here, but if we need to end this a little early, we have to, because I want to make sure I can get here on time, or at least help her out with a couple things. But I'll let you guys know. Burning End. Yeah, we got that win there on that one. Thanks for again taking the time to look at that one. I mean, you can kind of just skim through it to get to the highlights. Watching you versus the employee now. Do you think WotC employees should all be Mythic players? I doubt they all are, but I feel they should. I mean, I can tell you right now from personal experience, when I used to work at Activision, way back in the day, like this was like 2008, by the way. That's been so long. When I worked for Activision, I can tell you right now, not everybody that does game testing is an expert gamer. But as time goes on, you actually do get better and better at stuff. So I'll say that. Okay, let's see here. What do we want? I guess we'll play... Let's see. Dwinian's Elite. We want to start building up our Elves. We'll play Llanowar Visionary, so we got a Mana Dork. Draw another card. Nice, we got a Forest. Just slowly building up our stuff here. Meanwhile, our opponent is playing, let's see, Vincent Valentine. Ooh, Final Fantasy. Another card again, like, man, there's just so many legendaries this year. Like, a stupid amount that we just cannot keep up with. I'll try, though, but it's not easy. Okay. We lose there, too. Forest. Let's see. We will play Allosaur Shepherd. Dwinian's Guild Leaf. Got some pump there. Pollen Bright Druid. Okay. We will put a counter on. What do we want to counter on? I guess the Dwinian's Leaf. Not a big deal. Let's see here. Elvish Mystic. Okay. No attacks just yet, but we do have plenty of pump now. We just need to get our game plan off the ground. I think we can get this going. But yeah, going back to kind of what you said, Sneaky Toilet, I guess it just kind of comes down to, again, wait, hold on. Okay. Non-token creature. Okay, well, Pollen Bright Druid. Sorry. Gotta go bye-bye. Okay, opponent. Ooh, Sylvan Anthem. That's great, too. Love that. Even more pump. All right. We scry. Let's see. Do we want that? Probably not. So with that, Allosaur Shepherd can also do some stuff here. So let's pump now. Okay, so with that. Big swing here. Actually, we'll hold back on the Elite. 2 big swings. Opponent, do you take the hits? They get the freebooter. Go to 17. Yes, they get the treasure token, which is annoying, but it's fine. Hopefully next turn will be the turn we can get our win. Okay, let's see. Can we pull this off? Okay, Vincent Valentine coming in. Sticky Toilet, I can't quite remember seeing you play a Reanimate deck just by chance, or you don't have them too often. That's a good question. We have... Okay, opponent stealing our Druid there. Boo. Not a huge deal, but I guess that's not horrible. But good question. Actually, we've played a couple of Reanimator decks here and there. I don't play them too often, but I'm always open to trying out and refreshing deck ideas. Actually, funny thing you mentioned that. We do actually have a spicy build that I do have on a budget that's kind of waiting in the wings. I think we might actually do a live stream on this. Maybe if not this week coming up, next week for sure. So we'll see what we do with that. Stick around, don't worry. You'll see what I mean in a bit. Okay, so Forest. Let's see. We turn that on. We will, let's see here. Okay, come here. And, okay, so swing for lethal now. Gain 6 life, so we're back up to 25. Does our opponent block? They have to, or else they will lose. Even if Rofellos dies here, that's not a huge deal. Okay, opponents. Okay, blocking and blocking. Is that enough? They have to block again, or else they lose this one. What will you block, opponents? Oh, they don't even try. That's rough, buddy. All right. We got another win there. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. The Elves are coming in strong. All right. So, let's see. Okay, so it looks like Mrs. Inferno looks like she's going to be wrapping it up, Sit. So, this one right here will be our final match, everybody. Again, so sorry we had to cut this one short, but I still appreciate all of you who have been watching here today. So, this will be our final one. Win or lose. No matter how long or short it takes, we are going to be wrapping it up here and now. And then don't worry, we'll still do our proper little send-off. We'll give a shout out to everybody in the chat today. And as always, we'll give you a nice little sneak peek if you stick around to the very end to show you what exactly we're going to be building for the next couple of live streams. Sticky Toilet, the first time seeing someone bring out a Valgavoth on turn 4 almost had me flipping my desk and punching the monitor. Oh, don't get me wrong. Absolutely stupid. But it actually gets stupider in Timeless because people reanimate their, they reanimate Atroxa. And Atroxa gets you like a bunch of cards for like nothing. It's ridiculous, by the way. But don't worry, we will be trying that out soon. Okay, Langra the Magpie. Okay. This is going to be one of our budget decks in the future once we get the 3-color ultra budget 3-color decks. We still need to wrap up the rest of the series on 2-color before we get to the 3-color budget builds. But they are coming. Don't worry, everybody. Stick around for that. Paradise Druid. Okay. Opponents. Forest. Play Rofellos. All right. Pelt Collector will get a little stronger. He swings. Obviously, our opponent's not going to block that. So that's a free hit right there. You've been in love with Reanimator decks since Arden? Well, I mean, everybody's got their thing. So, hey, if that floats your boat, more power to you. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can try some more Reanimator decks coming up in the future. Hopefully we can. Let's see here. I think Elvish Archdruid. All right, get the pump going. We will swing with the Pelt Collector. Opponent's definitely not going to block. So free damage again, down to 21. We'll keep the Heroic Intervention alive just in case. And then let's see. With Beast Whisper, oh. Heroic Intervention. Denied, opponents. Whew, that was too close. That Perpetual is very annoying. Uro. Okay. Okay. Now, card I haven't seen in a while here. But alright. You do you, opponents. Okay, so from here, the Great Henge. Oh, there we go. Get that in for all the value. So with that, play Presence of Gond. We'll play it on Pelt Collector. All right. Just start making tokens now. So once we get our next set of... Oh, jeez. Skyclave. Boo. Do they hit Rofellos or our Elvish Archdruid? Okay, the Archdruid. Okay, of course. Not a big deal, though. We can still keep drawing cards with the Great Henge anyway, so it's not bad. Beast Whisperer. Okay. Start pumping. All right, Beseiju. Nice. We will start... Let's see. Actually, no, Gallic Readers. Okay, draw more cards. Oh, we got the Roaming Throw. Nice. Hunter's Talent 2. Okay. Say, let's see. Paradise Druid going bye-bye, so their ramp is down. Swing with Pelt Collector. Down to 22. Inferno, I beg you one day to look at making a Reanimate deck, but make 100% sure you have Arden, FOMO, and Aurelia, the War Leader. 3 attacks in 1 turn, which means for 3 summons in 1 turn. Oh man, that sounds absolutely silly. Maybe we might try in the future there. We'll see what we can do. Oh, and I realize our opponent just blew up our Great Henge. Boo. But it's okay, though. I think we're far enough ahead now where that may not matter anymore. So we can still draw cards with Beast Whisper, so this is good. And then double the triggers. You'll love to see it. Pump, pump, pump. Nice. Okay, and then with that, let us give Pelt Collector a little bit more love there. All right, swinging with Pelt Collector. So, opponents, do you block? No, you don't. Down to 17. Oh, man, we're so close to actually wrapping this up here and now. Roaming Thorn alone should be enough for us to... Ooh, what's this? What is this disgusting alchemy nonsense? Okay, down to 21. All right. Oh, here we go. Opponent, I don't know what this does. I do not care. That's got to go bye-bye. I'm sorry, but say goodnight to that. Denied. All right. All right. Getting our card draw going there. All the triggers. Thank you, Roaming Throne, for giving us more value. Name Elves, of course. Even more pump. More treasures. Elves! They're just ridiculous. Let's see here. Pump this up. And then we go from here. Pelt Collector, swinging. And you know what? Gallic Readers too. Why not? 5-4. And it has Trample. Opponent, do you block? Down to 1. All right. Ooh, we're ready to finish this up here now, everybody. See, Chula, I know how you like red a lot. Was goblins ever your thing? It was my thing. In fact, we played a couple goblin decks in the future. But we'll definitely get back to goblins once we get to Lorwyn. So don't worry, they are coming. Same thing why I really see you really enjoy elves. Well, elves right now are absolutely silly. I mean, you've seen it already here. An opponent has had enough. They are out of it. There we go, everybody. So that was our final one for the evening. Wait, why did I play that? Hold on. Which one was I supposed to play? Oh, there we go. Yay! Much better, everybody. Victory to the elves, everybody. Love it. Okay, so again, as I mentioned, we're going to have to cut this a little short because, again, Mrs. Inferno is going to be waiting for me, and I do not want to keep my beloved waiting, so she is my queen. So before we go, let's actually now talk about the decks briefly. So, what'd you think about the Elven Elite, everybody? Would you play this deck in any way, shape, or form? And to be honest with you, Elves, what can I say? Elves are what they do. They go wide, they go big, and they make a lot of mana. So if your opponent doesn't want to have to think too hard about your game plan, just play Elves. I mean, Rofellos is, what can I say? This card is absolutely silly. It really is. You literally play forests, and you're rewarded for more ramping as the game progresses. If your opponent does not blow up Rofellos, you can get away with the game very easily. You can easily cheat on your mana. In fact, I mean, usually I always like to play 39 to 40 lands in a deck, but with Rofellos, you can kind of, and I don't recommend this too often, but you can kind of cut back a little bit of your lands if you're playing Elves, especially with Rofellos, because he more than makes up for it with every land drop. So you easily can make up a ton of stuff and then sink all that extra mana into a bunch of other things you want to do. So keep that in mind. I definitely would recommend Elves on a budget. We've done Elves plenty of times across all formats, and we will definitely jump back into Elves once we get to Lorwyn Eclipse at the couple of weeks. So literally about a month and some away until we can actually get to Lorwyn. And don't worry, looks like we're going to be doing Dimir Elves again. Probably for Historic, maybe Pioneer, maybe Standard. Definitely you're going to be doing it in Brawl. So stick around, everybody. That is coming soon. Otherwise, the upgraded deck, I mean, what can I say? If you're willing to spend a ridiculous amount of rares or even just money, Elves are just, they're good. I really don't even know what else to say. I mean, you saw, Elves get so much good value. Even without Rofellos in the main deck, you get tons of card draw, you get tons of pump, you get so much. I mean, if you really want to tweak the deck, you can go +1/+1 counters. You can just go with go wide, go big. Like, I don't know. The sky's the limit for Elves. I really don't know what else to say except just to play Elves. If you really want to have an easy time in Magic, play Elves. Mono green already is good enough. If you go Golgari, you have a lot of more removal options, but realistically, Elves go so big and out of control so quickly. I mean, most people, you really don't need much of else except maybe some protection spells. Maybe I would probably add in some protection spells, but we were pretty good with what we had. So however you want to do it, again, Elves, good. Play them if you want to. You'll have lots of fun, and I assure you, you will not be disappointed. Okay, so before we go, since you've stuck around for the very end of the stream, everybody, my True Fire friends, let's give a little sneak peek as to what's to come. So real quick, Sneaky Toilet, if you're still there, this one's for you, actually. Funny enough, you mentioned a Reanimator deck. I don't know how to name this one yet because we're still a work in progress, but we actually do have here a Reanimator deck. So we won't talk about this one too much here, but the simple idea, again, is we want to reanimate Summon Primal Odin here on a budget to hopefully just blow away a creature. And on the beginning of our next turn, we strike our opponent and get a free you win the game with the way its trigger goes off. So we're going to see if we can try to do that on a budget coming up soon. So that's coming up for another one. Otherwise, our other decks that we're looking at, possibly, I don't know which one I want to live stream, but I'll come up with something. We still haven't come up with the Ozai deck, but that's probably going to be our next stream coming up. We have a Human Taxes deck that I might want to try out that we're going to see if we can pull off a little bit later on. So this is a Human Taxes deck that is all legendary creatures and human cards to just oppress our opponent. Mai is actually a really good card for punishing our opponents. We're still going to need to work on that a little bit more to actually round it out a bit more. Otherwise, I don't know. I have a tokens deck that I kind of want to play around with. This one is literally like no creatures. It's like control / just crazy token shenanigans. Again, not sure if I want to do this one. Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we might make this one exclusive content. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to try to do more bonus content for those that actually do want to spend money on me. I don't know. We'll come up with a bunch of stuff for that. And then finally, there's a mono black deck that I've kind of been playing around with. Just like just a simple control deck that's using Waste Not. I do like the card, but I don't know, discard every time I play it doesn't quite work in my favor. So maybe, I don't know, we'll put it on the back burner. But yeah, we'll test some stuff out in the future. And again, I appreciate you, Sneaky Toilet, for always reaching out for testing some stuff. Maybe we can try to test out the Reanimator deck when I have some more free time in the middle of the night. But we'll see. If I can catch you on there, we'll see if we can make it work. But in any case, before we get going, everybody, one more final thing for all of you that have been watching. So thanks again for a big shout out to everyone that was here in the chat today. So Elliot Hawkins, thanks again for popping in and saying hi. Desiree 375, thanks again for that good question for you. Nice deep question, by the way. Sneaky Toilet, as always, true fire friend. Thanks again for being an all-star in the chat today. Lewd Food, thanks again also for popping in and mentioning again how you got VV for Christmas. Great present, by the way. I am a little jelly because I also had to pay for my copy. But hey, you got one. I'm happy for you. Hopefully you have a lot of fun with that. Bordy Man, jumping in for a little bit there also from Twitch. Thanks again for popping in and saying hi for a little bit. Appreciate you as well. And then, of course, those of you that I see on other areas, even if you didn't say anything on the chat, no big deal. I still appreciate you putting your eyeballs on us just the same. If anybody is watching me on Instagram, one quick reminder for you. We're hoping to push to 1,000 followers on Instagram for one specific reason. Once we can get to 1,000, the replays from these can actually go back alive. Unfortunately, the last update back in August meant I couldn't put any more of my replays on Instagram until I get 1,000 followers. So that's why I've been really trying to push for more followers on Instagram to get to that magic number, and then we can start posting up the replays so anybody that misses can definitely watch me across all of my platforms again. But if you can't watch me there, check me out on any of the other platforms. Twitch, YouTube, X, as well as, of course, Instagram if you catch me live until I can get those replays. But that's pretty much it for today, everybody. Check me out again. We're going to see if we can try to do one more stream, maybe hopefully before New Year's Eve. And if not, definitely, of course, right after the new year. But until then, everybody, the only other final thing is we'll do our highlight video as to what's to come in 2026 and my choice for card of the year as our final short in 2025. But until then, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Thanks again for joining us tonight. We'll do this again very soon. But as always, before we go, I do like to remind you of one important thing you should always do beforehand. Just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. We'll see you again, hopefully, at the end of the year, everybody. Later.